Welcome to another 6 o'clock live.
It's the only way to start your weekend.
Well, as usual, we've got a surprise in store for someone. We've star guests for all tastes, Kylie Minogue, Henry Mancini and Helen Mirren. And we've good news on the jobs front.
Yes, we're off to the Caribbean, where there are now jobs galore on offer to people from the southeast. Back in the 50s, it was Britain that brought over workers from the West Indies. Now the boot's on the other foot. Islands like Trinidad and Jamaica are looking for thousands of nurses and other hospital staff. Lola Lawrence is among the first to take advantage of the recruitment drive and is in no doubt it's just the job.
I'm very happy that I chose Jamaica as a place to come and do nursing. I feel much happier now and more settled and contented.
And back here in the southeast, we've more good news. Coming up later, details of hundreds of vacancies in our Job Watch.
And I'll be talking to the Employment Secretary, Michael Howard. Also later, the well-paid people who aren't ashamed to buy at second-hand shops and even jumble sales anymore. In these hard times, if you can hunt out a hand-me-down bargain, well, you certainly don't hide it.
Oh gosh, no, not at all. In fact, wearing second-hand clothes is quite in vogue now. It's quite fashionable.
Meanwhile, Jeni is in Hendon tonight, where she has a very important dinner date at the home of the Kane family. It's a very special occasion, Jeni.
Yes, well, here we are. It's a very special dinner party. It's a celebration meal for the son. And Sylvie, bring in the starters. We're going to go and feed the family because we're all very, very hungry. And in here is Leslie with the family. Hi, family. Here we are. Leslie wrote into the programme last week. She won the competition for having the dinner served up in her own home, and here it is. But that's not the only thing. We've invited along one of the world's most famous musician-composers who's going to be sitting in the corner tinkling the ivories. Who is he? What's he here for? You'll have to join us later to find out. See you then. Bon appetit, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Jeni. But before all that, with tonight's news from around the southeast, here's Anna Maria. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Frank, and good evening. Our main story. Health union leaders at Guy's Hospital have called for strike action. They met with management today to protest about nearly 300 jobs being axed. It all comes on the day figures were released showing waiting lists in parts of London to be the worst in the country. Well, Stuart Maister is at Guy's Hospital now. Stuart, how soon could strike action actually take place?
Well, quite soon indeed, Anna Maria. The unions have another meeting with management planned next week, but they also already have organised 3 mass meetings of their members. So even before today's meeting, it seems, they had something up their sleeve, but it also seems that today's meeting didn't help. The union leaders here didn't expect much to come from today's meeting with management. They were right. They got some details of where the 295 job losses will come, but they say many questions still remain unanswered. They staged a demonstration on Wednesday against the job cuts. After today's meeting, they want to go much further.
I will be telling my members, because it affects the majority of my members, that we need to defend the National Health Service for the local population, and we need to take industrial action to show the strength of feeling against these draconian cuts.
In the North East Thames region, which includes University College Hospital, they face another huge problem: the longest waiting lists in the country. According to a report out today, 66,000 people are waiting for inpatient treatment in that region. They'll now be able to call on this helpline, which opened today. It advises those on waiting lists around the country where beds are available, maybe in other regions.
If people are on very long waits, we'll be giving them the information about hospitals not too far away, hopefully from where they live, where they might be able to have their operation done sooner.
How bad is it likely to be for patients in the area?
Well, the situation continues to be a source of propaganda. The London Health Emergency Pressure Group said that today's report on waiting lists is actually out of date, that things are much worse. They quote, for example, in Camberwell, a 58% rise, they say, in the number of waiting lists. So it continues to be a source of speculation. What I think is clear, that people in the capital are believing a lot of what's being said, and that there are a lot of people worried about the situation of hospitals in London at the moment. Anna Maria.
Thank you. Stuart Maister at Guy's Hospital. A look at other news now. A gunman starts a 12-year jail term this evening for holding 150 people hostage at a leading nightclub, Tokyo Joe's. The Old Bailey heard today that the police were warned the night before Hani Elrez was planning the attack. Mark Jordan was in court for LWT News.
A night of terror as police cordoned off Piccadilly. Last July, an Arab gunman held 150 hostages in Tokyo Joe's nightclub. With a fake bomb strapped to his waist, a rifle in one hand, a revolver in the other. It was hours before police managed to free the hostages.
People were running out and he was getting angry and saying, next person who runs out, I'm going to shoot you all one by one. And he kept threatening that he was going to push his button on this remote control bomb device.
Here at the Old Bailey, the judge said, I have no doubt the people in that club believed they were going to die that night. It is difficult to overstate the terror you caused. 31-year-old Hani El Reyes stood quietly in the dock as he was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Many of those in the siege told the court of their ordeal. The judge also revealed that police had failed to act on a tip-off. 24 hours before the event, the girlfriend of the gunman had warned police that he had an arsenal of weapons and was planning a siege. Police seemed to ignore this warning and the judge ordered an inquiry. Had they acted, the whole siege could have been prevented. Police were unavailable for comment. Mark Jordan, LWT News, the Old Bailey.
A 13-year-old boy is critically ill in hospital tonight after a 25,000-volt electricity shock. Darren Yates has 80% burns. The accident happened when Darren climbed onto a British Rail electricity station in Welwyn Garden City. He had to be rescued from the roof by firemen. It's the second time this week that a child has been injured by BR's electricity. On Sunday, 9-year-old Kevin Finch was badly hurt playing near overhead cables near his home in Kilburn. Animal keepers took their Save London Zoo appeal to Downing Street today. They delivered a petition of more than 200,000 signatures to number 10. With them went Julie the Mexican bird-eating spider and Peter, a newly born South American deer. Both are endangered species. Last month, the zoo announced it faces closure at the end of the summer season, unless it receives money from the government. There'll be more on the plight of London Zoo on LWT tonight in the London programme. That's the Ark in the Park tonight at 10:45. Police in Luton have launched a double arson investigation after fires at 2 schools this morning. Icknield High School was extensively damaged by fire and 50% of Ferrers Junior School was destroyed in another blaze. Police are linking the 2 fires and treating them as suspicious. Londoners are being warned to save water or face restrictions this summer.
Thames Water made the appeal today after one of the dullest and driest Mays this century. They singled out gardeners as the main threat to supplies.
Sprinklers are fine if you use them at the right time and you use them for the right length of time. If you use a sprinkler for an hour or two in the evening, preferably after 8 o'clock, then the amount of water used is bearable as far as we're concerned. The people that we're really targeting are the people who use the sprinklers on and leave them on overnight, which causes us grave concern because it shoots up the demands.
Thames Water says the average garden sprinkler pours out 200 gallons an hour, the same as an average family uses in 2 days.
Sailors on HMS London cleared the decks for a very special party this afternoon. Lindsay Charlton went to Tower Bridge to meet the Navy's young guests.
HMS London back from battle in the Gulf to meet some special young friends fighting battles of their own. All of these children are cancer outpatients from the Kenton ward at St Bart's. Despite their personal struggles, they still found time to write to the company of their adopted ship.
Very, very brave to go to the Gulf. And I wanted to wish them well.
People was getting a little bit tense, getting worked up, thinking, have I got everything right at home, worrying about their own families. I'm receiving these letters out of the blue from people who we consider to be heroes anyway. They're fighting their own battle. It was tremendous.
Apart from the parrot, everything was shipshape for a thank you party, care of the ship's crew. Have you ever been on board a big ship like this before?
No.
What do you think of this party?
All right.
So, all right, the Lord Mayor dropped by to cut the cake. An extraordinary day for some extraordinary children, who even managed to pipe themselves aboard. Lindsay Charlton, LWT News, HMS London.
The first classical cathedral to be built since St Paul's was dedicated in Essex today. The new Roman Catholic cathedral will serve the Diocese of Brentwood, which includes Essex and 5 East London boroughs. Cardinal Basil Hume, the Archbishop of Westminster, dedicated the cathedral at a special ceremony this morning. Leading names from the world of fashion are on parade in London tonight. Rod Stewart's new wife, Rachel Hunter, is one of the celebrity models in a gala show at the Royal Lancaster Hotel. Proceeds from the show will go to help Romanian orphans.
The idea of this evening is to raise £40,000 to send 5 qualified people over to a so far untouched Romanian orphanage, and I think that's worth chancing my arm on the catwalk, even amongst all these stunningly beautiful and much younger women.
I'm walking down the catwalk with Yasmin Le Bon, and I'm 4'11", and Yasmin must be at least 6 foot. So I think I'm a bit of a joke tonight.
Finally, from the news desk, one of our reporters tried to light up in London this afternoon, but he chose the wrong day. It's World No Tobacco Day, and Ken Andrew ran into problems within minutes.
Taxi! LWT. If a cabbie objects to a passenger smoking in his taxi, apart from asking them to stop in that polite manner London cabbies are famous for, he has no power under present laws to prevent them from smoking. Isn't that right, Eric?
No, not legally, but I think it should be discretionary. I feel that drivers who pay a lot of money for a cab and want to offer a clean,
By the way, the
good
Health
service,
Education Authority has marked No Tobacco Day today with the launch of a campaign to curb smoking in cabs.
Cigar. I feel that people who get in the cab and want to smoke, they should ask the driver. If you ask the driver and say, well, can I have a
Banning
cigarette?
smoking in cabs will go a long way towards making all transport smoke-free.
Yeah, you know, have a cigarette. But if you just get up and start lighting up, and because you get a lot of people who stub their cigarette on the back seat, and you know,
But feeling is divided among cabbies on a permanent ban.
carriage. They're paying good money and they want a decent service.
If it's going to harm you, that's your business. If it doesn't harm me, I don't particularly care what you do. I don't think we like to dictate to people in our game.
I think it's unfair on the driver. I think he should have a say. It's his cab.
I'm a smoker, so I don't agree with it.
So if they want to catch cancer, it's up to them.
It's not worth the aggravation. So the advice would be, before you light up, ask the driver if it's okay.
And sometimes you get the people who say, well, oh, I didn't see the sign, or...
Ken Andrew,
Sorry,
LWT News with Eric the cabbie.
I'll take a couple of puffs and I'll put it out. And, you know, normally my reaction is, you know, you've lit it up now, you can finish it off if you like.
And Ken will be here with me at 10:35 this evening without his cigar. That's it. Back to Frank now.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, it's a sad sign of the times. The number of jobless in the South East has never been higher. In the last month alone, another 29,000 joined the dole queues in and around London, bringing the total to almost 600,000. And top economists have warned this week that unemployment nationally will soon top 3 million.
But thanks to our 6 o'clock live job watch, we've found some hope. We've discovered hundreds of jobs going begging around the South East, so watch carefully.
Well, our first jobs are at 3 new supermarkets about to start business. Sainsbury's are opening at Rustington in Sussex and Maidstone. The stores have about 200 jobs each, from checkout staff to bakers and managers.
And Tesco open up in August at Leatherhead in Surrey, where they'll have 300 jobs.
There are lots of temporary jobs this summer too. Royal Ascot starts on the 18th of June, and 2 companies need silver service waitresses, porters and washer-uppers, a total of 450 there.
And Windsor Safari Park need around 50 staff, most in catering, but including an assistant wage supervisor and a typist. And 2 very unusual jobs are up for grabs. Someone to wander around the park in a gorilla suit and a minder for them. Fancy that, Frank?
Thank you. Finally, Ealing Hospital has vacancies for 2 radiographers and 6 nurses, especially nurses with experience of caring for the elderly.
So that makes a grand total of 1,210 jobs in the South East that we've found this week. The address for details coming up soon.
Well, we have a London hospital there with 8 jobs, but this week we've also heard of some hospitals which have thousands of jobs to fill. In fact, they've so many vacancies that they're trying to recruit people from the South East, even though the hospitals are in the Caribbean.
For example, the Eric Williams Hospital in Trinidad has 200 vacancies, and we've a special film made for 6 o'clock live explaining what the island has to offer.
Welcome to the Twin Island state of Trinidad and Tobago, the most cosmopolitan, romantic, exotic and friendly of the Caribbean Isles. Here you will find the Eric Williams Medical Sciences Complex, a teaching and research hospital that's dedicated to a standard of excellence in healthcare that is second to none. It is made up of 5 hospitals: an adult hospital, children's hospital, dental, veterinary, and a women's hospital. The Women's Hospital has been functional for more than 10 years and has a wealth of experience in its area of speciality. The Dental Hospital will be the most sophisticated outside North America. This is just part of the Mount Hope Medical Complex, and it's right here waiting for you to become a part of its excellence. We have over 200 vacancies for nurses and other medical professionals, and we would like to offer you the opportunity to practice your profession with pride and dignity, to take advantage of the warmth and beauty of this twin island state, Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, meanwhile, in nearby Jamaica, they too are looking for more than 1,000 hospital staff. One of the first to take up the offer was 24-year-old Lola Lawrence. She was born in Britain, but has now gone back to work in the country where her parents started out. Caribbean journalist Hugh Croskill brings us this report.
This is Jamaica, in the very heart of the Caribbean. As you can see, it's paradise on earth. That's just one of the reasons why 24-year-old Lola Lawrence gave up working in England to start a new life and a new job here at the Spanish Town Hospital near Kingston.
Jamaica is a beautiful island with beautiful blue skies and lovely greenery, and the beaches are gorgeous and the sea is a beautiful blue colour. All in all, it's just a wonderful place.
Lola worked in various NHS hospitals until leaving for Jamaica 2 months ago. The pay may be less than in England, and the facilities not quite as modern here, but there are fewer pressures, and the living is easy.
The salary was definitely higher, but the cost of living was quite high, and so your money didn't stretch that far. I found the work rather stressful, while here it's so much more relaxing and the pace is much slower.
Lola's now settled in. She misses her workmates in England, but she's made new friends.
I'm living in a lovely neighbourhood. The people are very friendly and approachable.
And there are other compensations too.
There's lots you can do in your spare time here. I mean, I prefer to relax on my days off, but there's plenty of opportunities to explore the islands. They have some wonderful beaches here and some wonderful tourist spots. When I was in England, I spent most of my spare time doing housework. I'm very happy that I chose Jamaica as a place to come and do nursing. I feel much happier now. I'm more settled and contented, and that's due to the country itself.
Well, if you're interested in going to work in a hospital in the West Indies, then, of course, we've got an address here. Details of any other jobs featured in tonight's programme. Here's the address. Send it to Job Watch, 6 o'clock live, LWT, P.O. Box 50, London, SE1 9LQ. I'm interested, why are there so many vacancies?
Well, a lot of the nurses have actually left the Caribbean, gone to North America and the Middle East. And also, it's been undergoing so many developments. They've got lots and lots of new hospitals and they need staff.
Yeah, but they're moving away from the West Indies for better pay. What's
yes,
the pay like there?
Well, it's not the main incentive to going back. I mean, I think it's about £300 a month. But, of course, the cost of living is so much cheaper. I think you can get accommodation for about £7 a month.
And they're selling it like holiday islands, aren't they?
I know, it looks wonderful, doesn't
the
it?
lifestyle is so good. Well, with me now is the Employment Secretary, Michael Howard. A very good evening to you. At least in our survey there's a good news. There are jobs to be had.
Oh, there are jobs to be had. In London alone, last month, the Employment Service found 12,500 people new jobs. Over the last 3 months, we've found 40,000 people jobs, and we are providing a wider range of help for the unemployed.
Yes, but
than
are they
has ever been offered before.
Are they the right kind of jobs? I'm not sure everybody. I know they're important jobs, but not everybody wants to be a washer-up or work on a checkout, do they?
Of course, and we're offering all kinds of jobs. Over the country as a whole, 275,000 people every month are found jobs by the Employment Service, and more than half those who are unfortunate enough to become unemployed leave unemployment within 3 months.
Well, I mean, that may be political wishful thinking, but because the facts of the matter politically is that in the South East is being hit like it's never been hit before, and you are losing, in this recession, your voters. You're losing white-collar workers, skilled workers. Doesn't that worry you politically?
Well, I don't like anybody to lose their job, and I want unemployment kept to an absolute minimum. But I think that there's a lot of hype in some of the figures that are being put around, because although there are undoubtedly increases in unemployment, they start from very low bases. And if you compare, for example, the unemployment figures now to what they were at the time of the last election, Unemployment in the southeast is about a third less than it was at the time of the last election.
But
so we want to keep it in perspective.
But wherever you go, there are people in jobs worried for those jobs.
Yes, I understand that. And that's why we are determined to provide as much help as possible to get those people who do lose their jobs back into work as quickly as possible.
But politically, the Labour Party, we all know, has a big difficulty in winning an election because it's got to win seats. It can get votes and not get seats. But if it starts winning seats around here, then you're really in big trouble.
Well,
and if your voters get disenchanted, they will vote Labour.
I can't believe that anybody would be silly enough to vote Labour for reasons of unemployment, because Labour has a whole raft of policies which would destroy literally millions of jobs. Now, people are going to look at the policies and decide what effect Labour's policies would have, and they're not going to vote Labour because of unemployment.
But what can you do as a minister? Because we keep on being told by this government that the way to get jobs is not to create jobs. It's the Chancellor who's got the power. He's got to create the atmosphere, surely, for firms to invest, and only by that method will jobs be created. So what can you do?
That's right, and we've created in London alone 1 million extra jobs since 1983. Now, the key to our long-term competitiveness is to get inflation out of the system. We're making excellent progress on that, and then we should be back on track to create another 1 million of jobs in the next few years, as we did in the last year.
That's small consolation that people are losing their jobs, and of course the unemployment is going up and up and up. The figures are getting higher and higher, and this report says that the recession is deepening and there is no sort of sight of the sun on the horizon.
Well, you have to take some of those reports with a considerable pinch of salt, but you're quite right that neither those reports nor any of the other long-term forecasts are of comfort to people who are losing their jobs now. And that's why I'm determined to give as much help as I can to those people. Come to our job centres, come and explore with us what we can do to help you. We'll give each one of you an individual back-to-work plan. We want to help you in every way we can.
Minister, thank you. Appreciate you've come here on Friday. Thank you very much. Well, we take a break there, but still to come on tonight's 6 o'clock Live, not only Miss Kylie Minogue, but also, well, we're off to the movies for a royal premiere and a chat with Helen Mirren.
We go bargain hunting with the thrifty rich who aren't ashamed to wear hand-me-downs.
And if music be the food of love, we'll have an extra large helping of Henry Mancini. All that in the time it takes to hum his Pink Panther theme tune. Back in a couple of minutes.
We're having a lovely time. And Sylvia, we've had to think what we have.
Hello again. Well, still to come tonight, why the recession means second-hand roses are all the rage, and I'll be meeting Miss Mirren at a royal film premiere. But first of all, do you remember last week we asked you to let us know about anyone you thought really deserved a special treat?
The prize, a slap-up dinner party on us, and the entertainment, well, that was to be provided by one of the world's most famous composer-musicians.
Well, the winning letter came from Leslie Kane, who lives in Hendon.
She nominated her son for a special reason. All will be revealed very soon.
Well, we couldn't refuse, could we? So, Jeni's at the celebration dinner in Hendon right now. The food has arrived, and they're just waiting for the magical musical accompaniment.
Oh, it's going swimmingly, Frank. Look, it's wonderful. We're here. The Canes are having their nosh. It's marvellous. There's Granny and the kids, and this is Sylvie. I won't let it get cold. She's from Food on the Hill, and we've had our starter. What was the starter, and what have we got now?
It was a salmon and trout mousse with a garnish salad, and now we've got chicken with vegetables. It's coated in sesame seeds. Sesame seeds, and apricots.
It's lovely. Yes. And what have we got for pud?
It's a fruit pavlova.
Off you go. Don't drop it and mind the camera. Oh, which way are you going? You're going this way. Yes, she really is French. I promise you, she really is French. Now, this is Leslie in real life. You've just seen a photograph. Did you imagine we were going to get here?
No, I didn't.
It's good fun, isn't it?
It's wonderful. It makes a change from fish and chips.
It smells great, too. Now, why did you send him for the competition?
Greg won a music award at school, and I wanted to celebrate in a very special way.
Well, why don't you take him to McDonald's?
This is nicer.
It is nicer. Well, I'm coming round to Greg. This is Greg. I'm just going to crawl round. Now, listen, ideally, who would you have round your table, your celebratory meal?
Well, my favourite piece I've ever played on the saxophone is the Pink Panther, and the composer of that is Henry Mancini, so I'd really like to have him here.
We'd really like to have Henry Mancini. Well, of course, 6 o'clock live does do miracles. So I just want you to think for a moment. We are in Hendon here. We are going to have a man walk through this door who has got 20 Grammy Awards. He's won 4 Oscars. He's written all the standard songs. He's played the Carnegie Hall, and here in this humble home in Hendon, please welcome Henry Mancini. Take it. Oh, thank you for coming. Sit down, and for Greg, for you, please take it away.
Nice chap to have playing while you're having good dinner, isn't it? Now, more from our special meal and Mr. Mancini a little later on. Now then, in these hard times of recession, everybody has to think of ways of saving money. It might be a holiday in this country rather than one abroad this year. Or the car. Perhaps it's got another year of life in it, you think. But there's one way of being thrifty that's now becoming really fashionable.
According to a new survey, more and more people, and especially high earners, are turning to buying their clothes second-hand, from dress agencies, charity shops, even jumble sales. What's more, it seems they're no longer afraid of letting their friends know that they're wearing hand-me-downs, as I've been finding out.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion...
Designer clothes. A dream out of the reach of most people's pockets. But what happens when the recession hits the wallets of even the once wealthy fashion fanatic? They're now coming to places like this smart clothes shop in Marylebone High Street. This ball gown cost £1,000 new. It's now up for grabs at less than a third of that price. No, it's not another sale at an upmarket shop. This is a charity shop, and everything in here is second-hand. Once the exclusive domain of poor fashion students and the genuinely needy, charity shops and even jumble sales and markets have become a hunting ground for a new breed, the middle classes.
Clearly, with the country having suffered such levels of high interest rates, even the middle class are actually suffering. So there's probably an element of trading down, but trying to look good at the same time.
And charity shops have wised up to their new customers' tastes by offering designer labels at a fraction of their original cost. Rifat Ozbek trousers, only £50 a pair. This Yves Saint Laurent dress, now £70. A Guy Laroche suit, a snip at £75. Betty Jackson for only £45. And there's no shortage of takers. Property consultant Paula Davison isn't ashamed to show off her second-hand wardrobe.
Wonderful, isn't it? And it actually cost me less than £50. And I actually wore this outfit to the Queen's Garden Party last year. So it's really lovely, knowing the people milling around me who probably spent thousands on their outfits gives you quite a kick.
And it's not just the grown-ups who are bargain hunting in these hard times. This lot are on their way to Second Time Around, a fashion paradise for the label-conscious kid. It started in February, the midst of the recession, and hasn't looked back.
Customers said to me yesterday that they were the nouveau poor and that they didn't mind coming to a shop like ours to buy second-hand clothes.
I had people from all economic sectors down here because it's the only alternative to the high prices, the only sensible, intelligent alternative.
Parents as well as their kids are sold on second-hand.
Yeah, I think it'd look nice to me.
I used to buy them at the full price. I think everyone's so poor at the moment that somewhere like this is a godsend.
I don't feel there's any stigma about buying second-hand clothes at all. As long as the labels are right and the condition is good, the children and I certainly don't mind at all.
I like coming to this shop because it's got lovely clothes and shoes for great prices.
Ariana wears a £40 Italian number for only £2. Natalie, too, favours a £70 O'Lily dress for £15. There's Miles in a £60 number, a bargain at £15. And 10-year-old Alex's £40 naff jumpsuit cost just £10. But there are more discreet ways of buying second-hand nowadays, especially for the more upmarket. Well, you might think I'm at a cocktail party, but in fact, I'm just about to be shown a rather exclusive way of shopping for second-hand roses. This is the Highgate home of Sheila Warren Hill. Every week, she invites an elite group of women to have champagne and sandwiches with her. But the refreshments aren't what her guests are really here for. They come to buy from Sheila's top designer second-hand clothes collection, but at knockdown prices. Business has never been busier.
People are realising that they haven't got the money anymore, and this is the answer.
Do you think you'd be able to wear the clothes that you do if you had to buy them new?
No, absolutely not. Couldn't afford it. I'd have to cut down.
Don't you mind the fact that they're second-hand, though?
Of course not. That's being a snob.
So you're not obviously worried about the clothes being second-hand?
Oh, gosh, no, not at all. In fact, wearing second-hand clothes is quite in vogue now. It's quite fashionable.
Naomi's £2,000 gold and black evening gown, only £250. Heather's David Neal £600 creation for a mere £100. And Jane in a silk peach number from £2,000 to £400. Well, I'm convinced that second-hand isn't second best anymore. What do you think of this outfit then, Frank? Cheers.
Well, naturally, I think you look gorgeous in it, but was it really a bargain?
Yes, it was. It was £800, now £150. And another wonderful frock here. This is Belleville Sassoon. It was £600, now £200. That's my Jackie Kennedy
Is that
number.
a long frock? I can't see.
No, cocktail frock.
A cocktail frock. Lovely. Well, there you are. Now then, it was the event to go to in London this week. They were all there, and what a night it was. Yes, indeed, the stars were out, and the red carpet rolled. The glitterati, the paparazzi. Mr. Stephen Fry rolled up. Anthony Hopkins, there's the great man. Michael Aspel, all gathered there for me.
No, Frank, they were all gathered there for the royal premiere of the film Where Angels Fear to Tread, in the presence of the Princess of Wales.
Well, all right. The film is adapted from the book by E.M. Forster. It stars Helen Mirren, last seen on our screens in Prime Suspect, that compelling police drama that attracted 14 million of us. Well, I caught up with her for a chat at the Hotel Hampshire. She'd just flown in from LA, where she now lives with the film director, Taylor Hackford. E.M. Forster is so highly regarded and very, very popular. Does this translate well, Where Angels Fear to Tread, onto film?
I think all his books do, and it's very ironic that he actually never wanted his books made into films, and of course they translate superbly well because he was a great dialogue writer.
You were a widow in the film who goes to Italy to try and get a bit of culture, but you fall in love with a toy boy, in effect, a man much younger than you.
A young man, yes, very young man, not even rich, you know, not even an aristocrat.
But you adore him.
Son of a dentist, and I fall madly in love with him. You know, I mean, it's called Where Angels Fear to Tread. Obviously, the other side of that is Fools Rush In, and in a way, it should be called Fools Rush In because that's what it's about. It's about people making foolish choices, which have not been thought through, and that's very much what the woman that I play does.
Lilia. Are you in the least aware of the social position of an Italian who pulls out teeth in a minute provincial town?
But you went in for equality.
I thought Signor Corelli was a member of the Italian nobility.
I only put that in so as not to shock your poor mother. Anyway, he's got a cousin who's a lawyer in Rome.
Oh, really? A lawyer? What kind of lawyer?
A lawyer,
Just like you are, except he has lots to do and can never get away.
Presumably, this was being shot and finished. Your work on it was finished before Prime Suspect hit the television screens. Is that so?
Yes, in fact, I was learning a lot of my lines for Prime Suspect while I was doing this.
Are you quite aware yet of the impact that had here?
My real indication when it actually came out was my mother calling me up and saying, "Darling, all the ladies in the bridge club are talking about it. They're all talking about it. They're not even going to the bridge club. They're going to stay at home and watch it." So I knew then that this was probably quite successful.
Thank you. I knew you'd get me off.
In the film we're talking about and in Prime Suspect, neither of those you took your clothes off, which is quite unusual for Helen Mirren, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is, really. Well, I've quite a lot of things I've done where I haven't taken my clothes off, I suppose.
I think somebody described you as the thinking thespian's tea cake.
Tea cake?
Yes,
oh,
isn't that nice? Not
sweet.
crumpet, but
no,
tea cake.
Tea cake, very much, yeah, lovely. Yeah, well, exactly. You know, it was a tough woman. And also, I really relished a role that I could just look like I looked like, you know. I didn't have to pretend that I didn't look exactly like I looked like.
Realistic and sweaty and hard-working.
Oh, you know, and old. But just, you know, me, the way I look, and that was great. I'm going to put that bastard in a lineup.
What, now?
You bet. I want him dragged out of bed. I want the shit scared out of him.
Jesus Christ. What if you're wrong?
I'm not. And if she picks him out of the lineup tomorrow, I've got him.
You've never married, and yet you are hugely happy with a relationship which I think started somewhere in the mid-80s. Is that's also good news for Helen Mirren, presumably?
Yes, it is. It's really good news. It's difficult because but I always say I live in America and work in England, which is or in Europe, which is what I do. I don't really work in America. And to have your home life and your work life 2,000 miles apart is really tough. And last night I had to say goodbye to Taylor, knowing that I wasn't going to see him for 3 months at all. That's really difficult. We've just had 8 puppies, you know. I had to leave my puppies. I won't see them ever again.
It's very difficult to sustain a relationship when, you know, you're apart for so many months. Actresses and actors before you have discovered that. And
it is hard, and you've got to really fight to be together as much as you possibly can. That when you're apart, that you keep in constant contact with each other. And I've given up a lot of work for that, I have to say. Yeah. I've given up quite a lot of work for my relationship because I didn't want to lose it.
Well, we all think you're wonderful here because of Prime Suspect. We wish you well with Where Angels Fear to Tread. Helen Mirren, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Helen Mirren. Old never.
I have to tell you all that Frank's gone completely off his food and has been wandering around the office quoting poetry. It must be love.
Well, wouldn't you, after meeting Helen Mirren?
Oh, well, last week our special guest was MC Hammer. We promised you the chance to win all of these goodies, tour jackets, records, all the rest of it. So,
if you want to be one of the lucky winners, all you have to do is answer this simple question set by the man himself.
Okay, here's a trivia question. What is the name of the first song on side A of my first album?
And pop your answers on a postcard. Send it to It's a Wrap, 6 o'clock live, PO Box 50, London SE1 9LQ.
Well, we'll take a break there, shall we? But still to come in the final part of tonight's 6 o'clock live, our guide to what's on and where to go, and do you whistle while you work? Why millions can't.
Why Kirstie Alley is saying cheers to another Hollywood hit, this time a movie.
And why pop star Kylie's so shocked about her life nowadays. That's especially for you. So stand by. It's all in part 3. Welcome back. Now, the question being asked in serious music circles this week is, can you... or do you... Precisely. It seems the art of whistling is in serious decline.
In fact, according to the experts, that unmistakable signature of a free and melodious spirit is being killed off. And they reckon it's thanks to today's tuneless pop music and our lifestyles.
Apparently, musicians believe that the stress of modern-day life may literally be taking our breath away. Well, we sent Danny to Surrey Quays Shopping Centre in South London to investigate.
Just whistle while you work.
No. Birds can still do it, referees can still do it, and farmers in the Canary Islands still talk to each other with it. But ordinary people, nope, no more. The it is whistling, and if reports are to be believed, even the lamest lament is beyond Londoners' lips. Or is it? Some had no problem.
And he's 75.
Some did have a problem. Fresh air, nothing but fresh air. One kid blew his top. How's that for sound? And of course there were the excuses.
A what? A whistling woman and a crowing hen is neither fit for God nor men.
Had you ever been able to whistle?
Yeah.
Well, you've forgotten how to do it?
No, just had my teeth out.
But most were game enough to give it a go. Ah, you see, you thought you could whistle. Now we want on 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. So that's it. Looks like those reports may be right. What you heard was the best we got. And I'm afraid, I've got to say, you blew it.
I think I've cracked it, I really do. Listen. Not very tuneful, but it's quite loud.
Not very ladylike either, but very, very effective. Now then, over in Hendon at the Kane household, they're celebrating a very special evening indeed. They won our prize, remember, of a slap-up dinner party with the music provided by none other than Henry Mancini, all in their own dining room. Jenny's there too. Jenny?
Oh, it's lovely here. It's lovely. Can you hear we're being serenaded by none other than Henry Mancini? It's gorgeous, and the meal's gone down beautifully. The smells are wafting. And we've got Granny here. Here's Greg, the celebratory boy, and we've got Mum Leslie. Everyone's a little bit tipsy, and we've got Jamie as a friend, and Carol, who's a teacher, which doesn't look like it. She's very pretty. And we've got Daddy here, who's an accountant. You having a good time, you lot? Lovely time. And of course, we have none other than Henry Mancini. Thank you for coming. It's lovely to be here. This must be a very unusual venue for you.
Yes, it is, yes. People don't usually eat while I'm playing.
No, no, they don't. We're bad manners. Now, why are you over here in England?
I'm doing a concert tour. We've done several already. We're in Portsmouth tomorrow night and Crystal Palace in Sunday night.
Now, Crystal Palace is open air, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
12,000 people.
12,000. A few more, yeah.
Yeah, you go out there, you see, it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be wonderful. Now, you've done so many things. You've written so many wonderful tunes. Have you a favourite?
I do. It's from an Audrey Hepburn, Albert Finney picture made, in the 60s. It's called Two for the Road.
Why is that your favourite?
Because it's, well, anything that Audrey Hepburn was in that I'd scored that was kind of special to me. She's my good luck charm. Really? But this one especially. I don't know why, I just like it.
Now, do you still have a passion for music, even now?
Oh, yes. Do I have a passion for music? Of course. I'm here, aren't I?
Of course you are.
Yes.
Now, you have a special interest in encouraging young people.
Yes, I have scholarships in UCLA, USC, Juilliard, mostly compositional, and some in film music.
And so for this boy here, you have something to give him, do you?
Here he comes,
He's behind me. He's here behind me.
Congratulations, congratulations. We have here 5 tickets to the Crystal Palace concert. Take them in your hand.
Thanks a lot.
And we have here this CD. This is my latest CD, Cinema Italiano. In English, it means Cinema Italiano.
Okay.
All right,
congratulations. Well done, Greg. We're going to play out now. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here.
Welcome.
On Henry Mancini's favourite tune.
Well, a very pretty occasion, a lovely dinner party there in Hendon. Now then, if you're a fan of Cheers or Thunderbirds, tonight's edition of In and On is an absolute must for you. In fact, you could say it's FAB.
Now, this week's film choice is a riotous comedy called Sibling Rivalry, starring Kirstie Alley of Cheers fame. It has what can only be described as one of the most complex of plots, but basically it all begins when Kirstie Alley, who plays a frustrated doctor's wife, is egged on by her sister to have a fling with a grey-haired stranger. Alas, the amorous exertions prove too much for her newfound lover, who promptly dies in the act. Then the fun really begins.
You've been hiding yourself for a long time?
As long as I can remember.
I bet it'd be real nice to let the real you out.
I don't even know if I know how to do that.
Now, for those of you who entered last week's film quiz, the wait is over. Here are the names of the winners. The answer to who is Ghost star Demi Moore married to in real life is, of course, Bruce Willis. Congratulations to our 5 winners, who will each be receiving a Ghost video and a sweatshirt. Remember those heady days of Scott, Virgil, Lady Penelope and Parker? For all of you too young to remember, I'm talking about Thunderbirds. Believe it or not, Thunderbirds is 25 years old, and to celebrate, Thunderbirds FAB will open for a limited run at the Mermaid Theatre starting on Monday. It's a fun night out for all, and you won't look out of place if you go dressed in full Thunderbirds kit. Now, bringing you firmly down to earth, how about spending a day training with an ex-SAS man, Lofty Wiseman, a world authority on survival? War games have nothing on this latest wheeze from the hospitality industry. The course, designed to build up your self-confidence, will also teach you how to survive with little more than a few leaves and a handful of snow. Give Keith Prowse a ring on 071 631 4920 for more info. Finally, this week's In Item will be making an appearance at Ascot, Wimbledon, a wedding or two, and your summer holidays. Yes, hats are not only the crucial fashion accessory this year, but protect you from the ageing effects of the sun. And this one will be coming on the beach with me. Price just £18, available from Selfridges. Until next week, goodbye.
Well, that's wonderful. Bit of a fashion show on the programme tonight. Now, talking, by the way, of the film's Sibling Rivalries, our next star guest has a sister who's also doing rather well at the moment. Welcome, Kylie Minogue. Always good to have you here.
Thank you.
And Danny's doing well, is she?
She is. It's nice to have some family here.
I see. She's not stealing your thunder, is she?
She wouldn't dare.
She wouldn't dare. So she's not becoming a threat yet?
No. Well, you know, I mean, obviously in the last few weeks, since we're both in town, there's been the whole kind of sibling rivalry stories, which of course isn't true. We're very happy for each other.
But it's very difficult for her following you, isn't it? You must accept that.
Well, I think in one way it's probably a little difficult, but in another way, her surname will get her places that perhaps, if it wasn't this way, would have taken a lot longer. OK, the name of the single is Shocked, Cheers. And we've got a little touch of the video, so let's have a look at that, shall we? Well, we were talking the last time you were here about your image, and it has changed quite a lot, hasn't it? How long ago was I here? Like, last year sometime, yeah. Since then, a few things have changed.
Yeah, has that worked out well? It's much raunchier than it was.
Yes. I mean, I don't really like to call myself raunchy.
Yeah, but you know, as you look at that, I mean, where is the girl from Ramsay Street, I ask myself?
She moved out. Someone else moved in. I don't know where she went. She disappeared, definitely.
But it's all the fashion. Madonna's doing it, and Sammy Fox, we hear, is out-sexing Madonna. And you, according to some newspapers, I read you discovered sex, so you're trying to do it.
That was an interesting story, yes. Would you like me to comment further on that?
Yes, I would. Yes, I would.
Well, no, I can't, sorry.
I see.
But, you know, it's another one of those famous little stories that...
Why have you chosen Shocked out of the album? How did that come
Well, actually, I wasn't going to have a fourth single off the album, but DNA, two guys that are great mixers and producers, decided to remix the single, or the song, to make it a single. So that's why we decided to do it.
And it's gone so well with you. I mean, you've had hit upon hit upon hit, and you're expecting this, presumably, to do just the same for you.
I would like to think so, yes.
Lovely. Nice to see you again. Drop by next time you're in.
Thank you.
You're welcome here any time. Well, that's it for another week, and what a week it's been. I've met Helen Mirren, who I think is great. By the way, I hope none of you were offended by the strong language in Prime Suspect. It was, of course, that sort of film.
Next Friday, our special guest is pop star Wendy James.
And if you're an American football fan, do take note. We'll be giving away a pair of tickets. Here they are for the climax of the World League Gridiron season, the World Bowl.
Come on, you Monarchs!
I'm going to have to talk you out of that. Anyway, make a date to join us, and we'll leave you tonight with the magic of Mr. Mancini playing a duet with 13-year-old Greg Kane in the Kane family living room in Hendon. Whatever you're doing, have a great one, won't you? Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Greg's pudding, but I'm just helping him out. Now, we're just going to take it away. Hit it, Hank. Off you go. See you next week. Oh.